A new report from the Department of Energy and Environmental Protection says Connecticut continues to miss goals when it comes to greenhouse gas emissions.
NBC Connecticut political reporter Mike Savino joining us live now from the Capitol. Mike, what's the problem here? Why are we not meeting the mark?
Well, the short answer is Connecticut drivers are just on the road more and more. But there are other problems, including fossil fuels for home and business heating. And this report has lawmakers trying to figure out what to do.
It's clear that we have a really tough road ahead of us preparing for the impacts of climate change.
Environmental activists are trying to push lawmakers to bring down greenhouse emissions in Connecticut. An annual report from the Department of Environmental Protection says we're way behind our emission goals for 2030. In fact, after a drop in 2020, emission levels have been on the rise.
That's a daunting task, but at the same time, we have more tools than ever.
DEEP Commissioner Katie Dykes says the state is trying to push emissions down with incentives for clean energy usage and zero-emission vehicles, as well as investments in public transit. But it's not enough, especially with transportation. While cars have become more efficient, drivers traveled another 3.6 billion miles in 2022 than they did in 1990.
I'm hoping that individuals will see this and realize that we need to do something relatively quickly.
Some lawmakers hope the report will build support for a so-called green monster bill. The legislation would declare a climate emergency and offer a range of incentives around renewable energies for homes and businesses.
It's different in that it's going to be offering incentives for businesses, incentives for residents.
Republicans agree on incentives, but they also say it gives too much power to DEEP to set regulations and policies.
Essentially allowing an unelected bureaucrat to initiate any policy they really see fit.
Now, Governor Ned Lamont and DEEP pulled back on an effort to follow California's plan to halt the sale of new gas-only vehicles starting in 2035. But lawmakers are also considering a separate bill that would study how Connecticut can support the ownership of more electric and hybrid vehicles in that same time frame. Live from the Capitol, Mike Savino, NBC Connecticut News.